Tennis has been a tournament whereby we have tried to produce some players, but as you all know, it's a very niche sport, which is more of an individual sport, works around on how the player was adapted and how they were raised to play the game. And I just want to bring it back to you. Like we saw the emergence, we've seen tennis bringing out stories. We saw with the Williams twins, we are seeing it with Osaka, and now we're having a girl from an African country who probably wouldn't say has the best of the facilities, but she's proving to be a head turner. What do you think, Ali? Is this a one-off? Is this something that is gonna be a build-up? Is this a name we should look out for? What do you have to say about it?
Well, it really depends. It really depends on whether we build upon what we already have. So my thing is, I'm not quite a follower of tennis, but I'd like to know, like if she came up through a certain system that's bringing up more of her or more of talent down there, or is she just one of those once in a lifetime talents that we've had? Because we've previously had such, like we had, I think in the 90s, there was this guy called, I think he was called Paul Wekesa. We did have, like someone who came, but the system was not able to bring up, like more Paul Wekesas. So it depends, like if we have a system that can now bring up more and get facilities and get, like proper coaches and training to be able to get into those Grand Slam tournaments, then I think we're onto something here. However, if it's just one of those once in a lifetime talents, then we're gonna celebrate her, and then we're gonna be back to square one.
And how do you think we can build up the how can the country capitalize on this the sporting event, and what would you like to see being offered to this girl to ensure that she goes on to the next phase? Because junior tournaments usually are the gateway to professional tournaments. Most tennis players go play the juniors before they actually go to, and they don't really necessarily have to win them, but the juniors is where they meet sponsors, they meet coaches who are going to turn them into pros. We only say the only girl who didn't play juniors and went straight into a professional debut was Venus, and then her sister Serena. So, what do you think should be the next steps taken out on protecting such wonderful talent like Okutoyi?
Again, I think there also there has to be investment in I guess in such sports. But I think we've always had this conversation, we've always had this debate as to whether the government is supposed to get itself involved. But if the government is already in there, then they should be putting in not stopgaps, but they're supposed to be putting in stuff that is supposed to elevate people like this. You put investments, you put money, build tennis courts, buy rackets or whatever, and then encourage sports. If you see that people are succeeding in tennis, okay, fine, put some money in it. If you see guys are succeeding in squash, whatever it is, put money in it. If the government does not want to get involved, then let it be that you assign a certain, whatever it is, body, and let them nurture and let them deal with nurturing the talent, such that when it comes to representing the country, you get the best of the best, and they come in and they do their thing. But for now, I think the government's foot is in everything. So put in stuff that is going to have how many kids now are going to start running to tennis courts to want to be like Miss Okutoyi over here? I'm sure there are going to be many. And there are those people who probably may have the wherewithal, they'll have the money, they'll have the wallet. Let them manage that. If the government is involved, let them put up the facilities, build tennis courts or whatever, encourage. Let it be part of the curricula in the schools and stuff. That way you get the best of the best to represent the country.